students, I hope you're all doing good. So this video is for those students who couldn't attend the class on 6th August, and in this video we will discuss about the topic that we have discussed on that online classes. So on that class we have discussed about the various separation of the mixture. We know what is separation, and we also know some of the common separation methods like evaporation, filtration, sedimentation. And among them, some of the common separation methods we perform day-to-day life, like hand picking, filtration, sieving. Hand picking is most common, that removing stones from the rice before cooking, separating tea leaves from the tea. Filtration, sieving, before making wheat dough, mother used to she used to separate a husk from the wheat with the help of sieve, so that we don't feel any unpleasant. So these are the common separation. Other methods are also the evaporation, condensation. And we have also learned that in a mixture that we need to separate the components of the mixture, we need physical methods, physical separation methods. We know this. What are the physical separation methods? We know condensation, evaporation. But apart from these, we also should know there are various other separation methods by which we can separate. Sometimes there are some mixture, but there are certain mixtures and we cannot separate the components of that mixture by using these common separation methods that we have learned till now. We need advanced separation methods to separate them. And in this chapter we will learn about that certain separation methods, that advanced separation methods by which we can separate the certain components of the mixture. So let's go. Acha, now tell me that whenever we are performing a separation, whatever separation methods like evaporation, condensation, distillation, or separation of any mixture, do this mixture follow any guideline or any principle, or you just do it in a haphazard way? I must say that this separation of a mixtures, depend on certain factors? Yes, it depends on the certain factors. And what factor it is? That is difference in physical property. If the components of the mixture have a difference in a physical property, then only we perform the separation methods. Like what? Like for example, in a filtration, if the size of the component particles are large enough, then only we perform filtration. We don't perform filtration for the milk, because the milk particles, in the milk are too small to block. Okay. Similarly, like sedimentation and decantation, we perform sedimentation, decantation on the basis of what? On the basis of that heaviness. One of the particle will be heavy, so that particle will settle down due to the gravity, and then only we will perform the decantation. See, so the difference in physical properties of the mixture help us to separate the components of that mixture. And what are the physical properties? Physical properties can be anything like melting point, boiling point, densities. There are difference in densities, like one is difference in densities, melting point, boiling point. It can help. Solubility of the constituents in a different solvents. One is solvent in this, another is may not solve. For example, like salt get dissolved in water, but salt does not dissolve in oil. So see, difference in the solubility. It is soluble in a certain solvent. So we can say that the solubility of the constituents in a different solvent. Ability of a constituents to sublime. Yes, sublimation. With the help of sublimation property we can also separate it. Another is volatility. What is volatility? Volatility is easy to get converted to gas, from liquid to gas. There are some liquids, they are easily get converted to gas, like just by gaining energy from the surrounding. For example, alcohol is very very volatile in nature. For example, this is container and you have kept like suppose 50-60 ml alcohol. After 30 minutes you will see that the layer has been decreased, and you will find the quantity has been decreased to certain 56 ml. 4 ml. This is because of the volatile in nature. The alcohol is volatile in nature and it gains energy from the surrounding, and as a result the molecules get escaped to the environment and is easily get converted to gas. So with the basis of this property, that volatility, we can also separate the constituents of the mixture. Now let's discuss the various separation methods and what are they. Now comes to the first separation method, that is evaporation. See, before starting this methods we discussing, I must tell you that this topic is very boring. For me it is very boring because these all separation methods are only practical based. It is not like theory. If you read this, you will feel boring until and unless you do it by hand, by your hands, or by practical. If you do it until and unless you do it practical, you won't find any entertainment or any enjoyment with learning this. Okay, so bear me with this boring topic, and I hope that I can make you understand. So first, understand the evaporation. What is evaporation? We know the evaporation. We all know that what is evaporation. Evaporation is that converting liquid into gas, right? This is what evaporation. But we all know. But if you want to perform a separation of the mixture using evaporation, then what will be the working principle? You have to, because listen to me. Every separation method has a certain working principle, and if that mixture follow that principle or follow that rule, then only we can perform the separation. And for what evaporation, what is the rule? The rule is that one of the constituent has to be volatile and other has to be non-volatile. It is must. For example, salt plus water. If you want to perform evaporation method using evaporation method of salt plus water, then we can use it, because here the salt, the boiling point of the salt is what? The boiling point of the salt is 1400 Kelvin. And what is the boiling point? 100. And I know what I have told you. What is volatile? Volatile means the components which get easily converted into gas. Now see, the water can easily get converted into gas at 100 degree, but salt won't. So in this case we can use, but we cannot use the separation methods for water plus alcohol, because these both are volatile. 100 degree and 60 degree. See, the difference in boiling point is not large. So in this case we won't use. But for boiling point, the difference in the boiling point, remember, the difference for evaporation, the difference in the boiling point of the two components has to be very large. Very large. Got it? Otherwise it is used. Otherwise you cannot perform. So this is evaporation. Now comes to centrifugation. Now comes to the second separation method, that is centrifugation. This centrifugation, we know why this centrifugation is used for which kind of mixture, that is colloidal mixture. Colloidal mixture. Now I must say that this centrifugation is much better than the sedimentation. I must say it, or I can say the advantages of the centrifugation method is that it is a time effective. In a sedimentation, even for the suspension you can use the centrifugation. It is not confined to only certain, like colloid. You can use it for a suspension, you can use it for the suspension also, and plus colloid also. Colloid is the best. You cannot perform filtration, but here, or neither sedimentation, but here you can perform. What it actually happens? This centrifugation works under the centrifugal force. What happens that in a centrifugation there is a certain machine in which we place the test tube, and in the certain machines there is a certain holes, and in these holes we used to place that mixture test tube containing the mixture, and these test tubes are inclined in like this way. Well, it means in that hole, that if you place the test tube will be placed like this, inclined position, and in this inclined position, this machine will start rotating. So once the machine will start rotating, you will see that the heavier particles will move outward. Will move the circumference, and the lighter particle move towards inward. We have seen যখন এটা দেখেছো, যখন আমরা ওই যেই গুজরাতিরা যেটা করে না, ঘুরে খুব জোরে জোরে এরকম হাত, আমরা এরকম করে হাত মানে একে অপরের সাথে হাতটা জুড়ে যখন ঘুরি, তো হোয়াট ইজ সি দ্যাট আমাদের মাথাটা পিছন দিকে সরে গেছে আর আমাদের পাটা এইভাবে হয়ে যায়, এইভাবে হয়ে যায়। উই হ্যাজ অবজার্ভ দ্যাট। In that case, what happens that our head being very heavy, it moves towards the circumference of the circle, and our leg being the lighter one move inwards. In this also the same thing is happening, that the heavier particles move outward. See, if you place the test tube, this is suppose a container, if you place this test tube which is towards the center, this is the center, this outer part or open part will be towards the center, and the closed part will be towards the circumference. So since this closed part will be towards the circumference, the heavier particle will settle here and the lighter particle will be settling at the upper part of the test tube. So when you take out this test tube, you will see that the heavier particle is settle at the bottom, and the most lighter particle is present at the mouth of the test tube, Then what are the, so now this centrifugation, where this centrifugation is used? The centrifugation is used in separating the milk, separating cream from milk, and one other to separate the constituents of the blood, separating the constituents of blood. Now this blood contains 4 constituents, that RBC, red blood cell, WBC, white blood cell, platelets, and plus plasma. And these 4 constituents have a different density. Like RBC is a heavier one, and the plasma is a lighter one. So when you perform this centrifugation on the blood, you will see, after you take out the test tube, you will see 4 separate layer, and 4 separate layer is because of the difference in density. As I told you that in centrifugation the heavier part will be here, so here it will be RBC. In the above RBC you will see WBC, here above WBC you will see platelets, and here you will see what? You will see plasma. So plasma being the lighter, it will be present at the mouth of the test tube, and the RBC being heavier, it will present at the heavier in the bottom of the test tube. So centrifugation method is used for what kind of constituents? The constituents which have a difference in density. So now comes to the next method, that is separating funnel. Now comes to the third one, that is a separating funnel. What is separating funnel? Separating funnel is another kind of separation method. And what kind of mixture we can separate? We can separate by using the separating funnel, that is liquid mixture. Liquid mixture means immiscible liquids. The mixture has to be immiscible. The liquid mixture has to be immiscible nature, then only we can perform this separating funnel. What happens in this mixture? For example, let's take a water plus oil, and this water plus oil, if we pour this mixture into the separating funnel, this is a separating funnel. If we pour the mixture in the separating funnel, after pouring the separating funnel, what we'll do, we will shake it vigorously. We will shake it vigorously for 1 minute. After shaking vigorously, we will keep it undisturbed for a few minutes. After few minutes, you will see that they have formed 2 separate layers of water and oil. And this separation will depend on what? Will be depending upon the density. The heavier one will be present at the bottom, and the lighter one will present at the above. And this is a knob where we can control the flow of the liquid. So once this division, here you can see the division. Once this division is reached here, we will stop the knob and we will collect this oil in a separate container, and in this way we can separate the 2 immiscible liquids by using the separating funnel. So now let's come to this another kind of separation, that is sublimation. Now we know what is sublimation. Yes, we know what is sublimation, that is converting of a solid directly into gas without converting into liquid. without converting into liquid. So in this kind of, we can use the sublimation method to separate the components. What kind of components? Solid-solid mixture. We can use this method to separate the solid-solid mixture in which one of the solids sublimes on heating. The major principle and one criteria that we should follow, or we should follow while performing the sublimation, is that one of the components should sublime on heating. Then only we can use this method, sublimation. And examples, what are the examples by which we can use this sublimation method? Example is iodine plus sand. This is one. Another is NH4Cl, ammonium chloride plus salt, camphor plus salt. So we can use this method to separate this kind of mixture. These are all solid mixture, and among these solid mixture, these components, as you can see, iodine, camphor and ammonium chloride, these all sublimes on heating. They directly convert it into gas without converting into liquid on heating. Now comes to the another method, that is chromatography. Now comes to the fourth one, that is chromatography. You know what is chromatography? Chromatography is a process by which we can separate two or more components by using this chromatography, and this chromatography works on the principle of the affinity towards solvent. Different components having different affinity towards the solvent. As I told you that certain components dissolve in certain, interact with certain solvent. Not all the solute dissolve or have a interaction towards only one particular solvent. Okay, so this chromatography works on that principle. What actually happens that, for example, take a dye. For example, you take a dye and you have taken one paper, TLC paper, one paper, and you have placed a dye over here inside a beaker. Now you will take a solvent over here, and remember this, you will take the solvent, the solvent should be lower, it should be below the dye, and as a result what will happen, this solvent will get absorbed by this paper, will get absorbed and will rise. Once the solvent will reach here, it will get interact with the components. Since this dye contains 3 different components, and these 3 different components have a different affinity towards this particular solvent, it may happen that one of the component may not like to interact with the solvent, and you will see other components having a strong interaction with the solvent. The one which is having a strong interaction with the solvent will present at the above, and the one which is having a less interaction with the solvent will present at the below. And moderate interaction, if one of the components is having a moderate interaction with the solvent, it will present at the middle of the cell. So this chromatography is solely depends on the interaction between this solvent and this paper. The constituents solely depends on the interaction of the constituents with this solvent and this paper. And you know what this solvent and what this paper is called? This solvent is actually the mobile phase. Mobile phase, why? Mobile means what? Moving, right? Mobile phase is moving. Now tell me, which is moving? The solvent is only moving, na? It is getting absorbed on the paper and it is moving, it is rising up. It is rising up, that means solvent is moving. And which is stationary? Stationary means static, that will not move. Which is not moving in this? In whole this apparatus or whole this setup, which component is not moving? What do you see? Paper. This paper is not moving. So this paper will act as a stationary phase, and this solvent will act as a mobile phase, and this paper will act as a stationary phase. And in this stationary phase, not only paper, the stationary phase can be solid also, can be liquid also, and mobile phase, it can be liquid and gas, either of them. So it is solely depends on the interaction of the constituents with this stationary phase and with this mobile phase. Suppose if the components have among 3, these 1, 2 and 3, these are the components, 3 different components of the dye. Suppose in among these three components, if one of the components having a strong interaction with the stationary, it will remain at the here. It will not move. And the one which is having a strong interaction with the mobile will start moving on with the mobile phase. Will start moving on with the mobile phase, and we will find it at the above, at the higher level. And the one which is like diplomatic in nature, neither it has an interaction, it has interaction with both the stationary and mobile, but not too strong, moderate interaction, it will present at the beginning, in middle. Now let's understand in a better way. See, I have drawn the chromatography method over here. We have taken a paper, and here it is a dye, and it is a solvent. This solvent, this is a stationary, this is a mobile phase, this paper is a stationary phase, and this is point is dye. Remember, whenever you performing a chromatography, the solvent, layer of the solvent should be below this point, So once you dip this paper, this solvent will get absorbed on this paper and will start moving on. Once the moving on, the components will start interacting with the solvent. And due to the difference in the interaction, it will rise accordingly. The one which is having a strong interaction with the mobile phase will present at the higher level. The one, these 3 number components has a strong interaction with stationary phase will be present at lower, or I can say bottom, and the one which is having interaction, moderate interaction with both will present at middle. So this is what actually happens in chromatography, that how these components are separated accordingly depending upon the interaction of the constituents with the stationary phase and the mobile phase. যার সাথে বেশি ভালো লাগবে সে তার সাথে মুভ অন করে যাবে, মোবাইল ফেজের সাথে ভালো লাগলে ওর সাথে মুভ অন করবে, স্টেশনারি ফেজের সাথে ভালো লাগলে ওইখানেই থেকে যাবে, আর যার সাথে মানে মডারেট হবে সে মাঝখানে থেকে যাবে। Now let's discuss about the distillation. Okay, now comes to the fifth one, the last one, that is distillation. Now let's discuss about distillation. What actually distillation happens? We have heard about distillation more or less in the lower class only. We will discuss it over here, but which principle it actually work on. This distillation works on the principle that is difference in the boiling point. Every separation methods follow certain working principle, and for distillation that principle is difference in the boiling point of the two components. And how much difference it should be? That is greater than 25 Kelvin or 25 degree. So we can use these distillation methods for those mixture only if the boiling point of the two components, better to say difference in the boiling point of the two component is greater than 25 Kelvin. If it is greater than 25 Kelvin, then only we can use this distillation. And what kind of mixture is preferred? Solid liquid mixture and liquid mixture. Liquid mixture means miscible liquids. Even using this distillation, you can use this distillation method for miscible liquids also. For example, you want to separate acetone plus water. Acetone is miscible in water. We can use this method to separate acetone and water, because even the boiling point, difference in the boiling point is greater than 25. How? For acetone the boiling point is 30 degrees Celsius, and for water 100 degrees. See, difference in the boiling point. We can use salt plus water, and liquid. We can use that one also. Liquid as a acetone plus water, alcohol plus water. If you want to take, then it will also, alcohol has a 60 degree and water has a 100 degree boiling point. We can use this. So you can see that this is a complete setup of the distillation. Here you will take the mixture, and this is a pipe in which the gas will pass. Once it started boiling, once it started heating, the components which having a lower boiling point will get evaporated. It will get evaporated, converted into gas, and this gas will pass through this pipe, and through this pipe here it is a condenser. You know what is condenser? Condenser is in which the cold water, here in condenser cold water is present. What actually, due to the lower temperature, this gas will get converted into liquid and will get collected over here. So the one with the low boiling point will collected first, and the one with a higher boiling point will be collected at the last. So in acetone plus water, the acetone will be first collected, water will be collected later on. In alcohol plus water, alcohol will be collected first and then water. So this is distillation. So it's done. We will discuss the rest of the separation in the next class.